Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the latest in a Gonzales County animal cruelty investigation. Plus, the Supreme Court weighs in on how Texans will vote in 2026, the map controversy that's dividing the country. And the holidays bring joy, but also a deadly problem on Texas roads. The statewide campaign trying to save lives.
Well, it's been cloudy and damp and kind of ugly, but it looks like the weekend is going to finally clear up a little bit. Clouds will be thinning out, rain will be ending, and temperatures will be warming up. We'll have all that coming up in a moment.
And the Salvation Army brings its mission to Victoria drive-thrus, the holiday tradition making a difference. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Shawna Currie. One person is displaced after an apartment fire in Victoria. It happened in the 1100 block of Warren Avenue Thursday evening. Officials say the fire was contained to one unit and firefighters were able to put it out within 15 minutes. The person living there is displaced, but no one was hurt. The cause of the fire is under investigation. The Supreme Court approves Texas's controversial redistricting plan, a move that could reshape U.S. House seats, and as ABC's Nicole D'Antonio explains, give Republicans an advantage in 2026.
Good morning. The justices ultimately rejected the lower court's findings, saying race was not the driving force behind the new Texas map, and that Texas lawmakers were instead motivated by partisan goals. This morning, the Supreme Court allowing Texas to move forward with a newly redrawn congressional map for the 2026 midterm elections, despite a lower court ruling that the map likely discriminates on the basis of race. Texas state officials arguing the map was drawn purely for political advantage, which the Supreme Court has previously allowed. The majority insisted the lower court had improperly inserted itself into an active primary campaign, upsetting the delicate federal-state balance in elections. Critics argue this Supreme Court decision has the appearance of partisanship. The state's redistricting plan, pushed by President Trump, would likely flip 5 congressional seats in Texas from Democrat to Republican in an effort to preserve the slim GOP majority in the House in next year's midterms. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says the new maps better represent Texas voters, writing on social media, quote, "We won. Texas is officially and legally more red." The Texas effort set off a nationwide redistricting battle. To counter those moves, Governor Gavin Newsom led a campaign to change California's congressional map. The Trump administration has since sued California to block that new map, even after praising the Supreme Court for keeping the redrawn Texas map. Newsom responding overnight, calling out Attorney General Pam Bondi, who supported the Supreme Court ruling, saying, quote, "So you're going to drop your lawsuit against us, right, Pam?" The Texas decision sets the stage for ongoing redistricting battles in states around the country, with both Republicans and Democrats vying for more seats. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
A correction to a story we brought you last night on an animal cruelty investigation. Several animals were euthanized during a seizure operation at Meadow Haven Horse Rescue in Gonzales County. Now, the organization on that property yesterday during the event was American Humane, which is not associated with the SPCA. Meadow Haven's owner claims authorities went beyond their warrant when multiple animals were put down. This remains an active investigation, and we have reached out to the Gonzales County District Attorney's Office and are still waiting for a response. We're heading into the weekend, lots of holiday activities planned, parades, tree lightings, just all kinds of fun activities. So do we need to bundle up or bring the umbrella?
I think we'll be doing better. Most of the dreary weather that we've had all week long is finally going to pull out. We're going to see a little bit of sunshine, although, not brilliant. Tonight, we still have a little rain activity. Most of it's south of Highway 59 down toward the coast, but you can see how that's thinning out. So tomorrow, Saturday, should be a lot better. I'll say it'll be partly to mostly cloudy, but temperatures getting up to about 72 degrees, and that should help out with all the decorating of Christmas. But you don't want to get a sunburn when you're putting up Christmas ornaments, so
right.
It'll be good. It'll be good for the weekend.
Okay, but we won't get electrocuted either putting the Christmas lights outside, right? With the rain. Well, the Texas A&M Forest Service awarded funding to rural fire departments across Texas under its Rural Volunteer Fire Department Assistance Program. This round includes grant awards to 23 volunteer fire departments in Goliad, Victoria, Wharton, Jackson, DeWitt, and Calhoun counties. Funding that will go toward new fire trucks, rescue gear, protective equipment, training, and dry hydrants. For these communities, the support translates into better equipped, better prepared fire rescue teams who are ready to respond. Police in Kerrville, Texas, released the 911 calls from the deadly July 4th floods. The more than 20 hours of calls released Thursday traced the flood emergency minute by minute. Prior to the release of the 911 calls, police warned some of the callers died in the flood. The floods killed 136 people, including 25 girls and 2 counselors at Camp Mystic. Police say the dispatchers answered a total of 435 calls over a 6-hour period. The calls are being released to comply with Freedom of Information Act requests. With the holidays in full swing, state officials say drunk driving is becoming an even bigger problem on Texas roads. 25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman joins us with a look at what TxDOT is doing to help keep families safe this season. Amaya?
The holiday season is here, and Texas transportation leaders are reminding drivers that it's also one of the most dangerous times of the year on the roads. Drunk driving is a year-round problem in Texas, but it gets significantly worse during the holidays. During the 2024 holiday season, the state recorded more than 2,000 drunk drivers-related crashes, resulting in 96 deaths and 201 serious injuries. Numbers in mind, TxDOT launched statewide holidays campaign, Drive Sober, No Regrets. The goal is to encourage Texans to think ahead before drinking and avoid getting behind the wheel impaired.
If you see that someone at a holiday gathering has been drinking, encourage them to find a sober ride or to stay put until they are sober. Helping to prevent a potential crash is worth any temporary awkwardness.
TxDOT is urging drivers to find a sober driver before heading out. Use ride-share services, taxis, or public transit, or simply stay where you are until you sober up. TxDOT say one choice can save a life, and they're hoping this campaign helps reduce tragedies on Texas roads this holiday season. Shawna, back to you.
If you have a news tip for us, give us a call in the newsroom at 361-576-0026, or you can send us an email to staff@crossroadstoday.com. A familiar sound of bells are now ringing in the Chick-fil-A drive-thrus in Victoria. The Red Kettle campaign donation buckets are now at the Victoria Chick-fil-A drive-thrus. The money raised through the holiday season will help shelter and feed those in need. Salvation Army leaders say they find joy in helping others as much as possible.
It just touches my heart that so many people want to be involved with the Salvation Army and that want to come alongside of us and help us do what we do. The more money we raise, the more services we do. We're not putting money in the bank. We're a nonprofit. So the more money we raise, the more people we can help.
Captain Kenny Jones says the Red Kettle Bell campaign isn't about just raising money. He wants people to know the Salvation Army is part of the community. The Old Landmark Committee is hosting its 6th annual Christmas giveaway tomorrow. It runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the American Legion Post on East Santa Rosa in Victoria. Families can swing through the drive-thru to pick up toys for children up to 17 and even grab a barbecue plate on the way out. The event is dedicated to the late Verlin Sandra Avery, honoring her mission to make sure children in Victoria were always cared for and never went without a meal. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Also, hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Still ahead on 25 News Now at 5. The CDC changes course on a decades-old newborn vaccine policy. Plus, doctors warn about a hidden danger in holiday decorations that could land you at the doctor's office.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. We learn about a nativity scene exhibit and the African Children's Choir. We hear from the Calhoun County Humane Society and the Victoria Police Department.
Recommending people lock their cars, keep them locked. That's what the burglars in Victoria are looking for, is unlocked vehicles. They're looking for easy targets. So let's not make it easy for them to make us a victim by leaving our cars unlocked.
A CDC advisory committee voted today to stop recommending the hepatitis B shot for all newborns. ABC's Olivia Rubin has the latest on the move, reversing a public health policy that's been in place for decades.
Today, a major reversal from the CDC, an advisory committee voting to no longer recommend the hepatitis B vaccine for newborns of moms that test negative. The reversal putting an end to a recommendation that has been in place for over 30 years. It was voted on by a panel put in place by HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has long pushed vaccine conspiracies.
It's sad that there are people on this committee who didn't bring up any of the real-world benefits.
Former CDC Chief of Vaccines, Dimitri Daskalakis, resigned from the committee earlier this year.
I think that what you're seeing is ideology supplanting science, conspiracies supplanting process.
He slammed the move, saying it will create confusion.
Access remains the same, but creates doubt, confusion, and will result in more children getting hepatitis B. And ultimately then getting chronic hepatitis B. 90% of them will if they're infected, and 25% of them will die early.
Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, who voted to confirm Kennedy, also rebuking the decision, writing, "As a liver doctor who has treated patients with hepatitis B for decades, this change to the vaccine schedule is a mistake. The hepatitis B vaccine is safe and effective. The birth dose is a recommendation, not a mandate." Acting CDC Director Jim O'Neill is expected to sign off on the recommendation, which should not affect insurance coverage of the shot. But the recommendation now says vaccine decisions should be made in consultation with a doctor, mainly if the mother tests negative, who can then decide when or if to vaccinate their child for the highly infectious disease. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
Babies as young as 7 months old can now get cochlear implants. Medical tech company Med-El announced the FDA expanded approval for its Synchrony implants to include infants with profound sensor neural hearing loss in both ears. That type of permanent hearing loss can be diagnosed at birth and usually stems from inner ear damage, sometimes caused by an infection during pregnancy. Until now, these implants were only approved for children 9 months and up. The device works by sending electrical signals to the auditory nerve to help those with severe hearing loss process sound. Unpacking holiday decorations, setting up the Christmas tree can all be fun and festive. But if you're feeling like you do during spring and fall allergy season, there is a reason why. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why you may be allergic to the holidays.
It's called subclade K, a mutated strain of influenza that's causing concern for the weeks ahead as flu season ramps up.
And those few mutations may have some influence in just how effective the flu vaccine is going to be for the current season.
Dr. Daniel Currie with Brigham and Women's Hospital says it's still important to get the flu shot this year because he says the latest strain is just one of 3 that typically circulate in a season, and being vaccinated will provide some protection.
And very likely would make any influenza that you might acquire much less severe than if you are unvaccinated.
But it appears many Americans are skipping their flu vaccines this year. Last winter's flu season was severe. The U.S. had its highest rates of flu hospitalizations in nearly 15 years. At least 280 children died of influenza. And with the combination of a new strain and upcoming holiday travel, experts fear this season could be just as bad.
We're just seeing the first signs of increasing influenza activity throughout the country.
Kariska says it's also important to keep up those personal care measures to protect against flu, like good hand washing. And he says if you do get the flu, there are treatments available.
There are several antiviral medications that are highly effective against influenza but need to be started early in the course of disease.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And if your allergies over the holidays continue to act up, Brooks says to talk to a doctor. There are plenty of options that can help, from medications to allergy avoidance techniques, allergy shots, and more. We're shining a spotlight on local homes that are lit up for the holidays, and we would love to include yours. Each Friday leading up to Christmas, we will feature a different home that is spreading seasonal cheer. And beginning December 22nd, we will showcase one home every day. If your decorations are ready for their close-up, now is the time to share them.
And now that we are going to be slowly getting rid of this cloudy and gloomy stuff, you may have some nicer weather to put up your decorations over the weekend. 52 degrees right about now. The winds have turned back out of the southeast. You know, they were north yesterday and fairly gusty. And so that's going to help, shall we say, warm the temperature up a little bit. Managed to get up to 53 today. About 3 o'clock, we should be around almost 70 by tomorrow. So that's going to help out for the weekend. Which is about where we're supposed to be this time of year. The rainfall also will be decreasing. We'll talk more about your weekend and what to expect next week coming up in just a moment. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Obviously, the cloudy, dreary weather has been with us for quite some time, and it was rather chilly, but it looked like we're warming up as temperatures are going to be getting back up into the 70s as we get to the weekend. The cloud deck is still going to stay strong over us, but it looks like most of the rain activity is beginning to pull out. The reason the cloud deck is strong is that we have this area of low pressure out here. It's spinning around and pulling up that stuff out of the Pacific, and so until maybe Sunday, when this cold front actually blows through here, then things will finally clear up for next week, but it is going to be a little on the cold side. This time of year, the temperatures go up and down depending on which way the wind is going to blow. Now here we are, and here's Highway 59, and do you see something funny here? All the rain was south of 59 toward the coast. So Calhoun County did get something. We didn't get much here in the city, only 1/100th of an inch of rain, but that's for this evening. And here you see the rainfall totals, obviously fairly light. And down here, just south of 59, as you can see right about there, all the way down to Goliad and Beeville, they got about 1/4 of an inch, and that's just within the last 24 hours. Now, temperatures for us will slowly get into the 70s for the weekend. But the rest of the country is not getting that kind of break. As a matter of fact, when you see this purple stuff up here, that's below zero. and there's a big pocket of cold up there that's going to be sort of rolling in and out of the upper Midwest. So their temperatures are going to be, going from freezing down to about 20 and maybe even single digits there. So it is definitely beginning to feel a lot like Christmas throughout the country. So here's our little rainfall. This is Future Tracker. We're now going forward into time. This is Friday night. We go into Saturday morning early. You can see how a lot of that rain just sort of goes away. So for all the activities that are going to be happening tomorrow downtown for the Christmas party and the parade and the tree lighting and all that stuff's going to be looking good as the weather is going to settle down for us, at least for a couple of days over the weekend. Of course, we're waiting for Sunday, which will be the next front, and that front will be a dry line. So it's not going to be bringing excuse me, any kind of nasty weather with it. So let's take a look at your day planner, looking for temperatures getting up to about 67 tomorrow afternoon in the Port Lavaca area. A little bit of sun in the afternoon hours, as you see right about there. In Cuero, you're going to see a little bit of sun as well. And look at that, a high temperature of 70 degrees. Perfect to be outdoors in the evenings for all the community celebrations, because lots of little communities are going to be putting up their trees over the weekend. So 71 officially in Victoria. Morning clouds, but a little bit of afternoon sun, then more sun on Sunday, and then a lot of sun on Monday, but it's going to be chilly with the temperatures being affected by the north wind that's going to be blowing in on Sunday morning, or rather Sunday night into Monday morning. But the first half of the week is on the cool side, and then all of a sudden we get up into the mid to upper 70s. That'll feel almost balmy compared to what we've seen over the last couple of days. So it's a topsy-turvy kind of world, because the winter weather changes very rapidly. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody, we do have this QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone, and we'll be back with more a little later on. Right now, we'll toss it to Shawna.
Still to come, Netflix beats out the competition for a massive media company, the surprise winner in a high-stakes bidding war. Wall Street ends the week in the green. The Dow up 104 points today. The S&P 500 up 13 points and the Nasdaq up 73 points. The price of oil is up 47 cents, now slightly over $60 per barrel. Consumer spending cooled off in September and inflation rose to the highest level in nearly a year and a half. That's according to data released today by the Commerce Department. The September report was delayed because of the government shutdown. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, which is the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge, rose 0.3% on a monthly basis. That brought annual inflation to 2.8%, a rate last hit in April of 2024. Americans also reined in their purchases a bit in September, with spending flat when accounting for inflation. Netflix is making a big move. The company announced today it has reached a deal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery for about $72 billion, including debt. WBD is splitting into two publicly traded companies. Once that is done, Netflix will take the Warner side, while the other half, called Discovery Global, will keep CNN and the rest of the cable networks. Paramount had been seen as the favorite, but insiders say Netflix came in strong with two big proposals this week. The merger of Netflix, HBO, and Warner Brothers will still have to clear major regulatory reviews in the U.S. and other countries. 7-Eleven is introducing an American version of a fan favorite Japanese snack food. You can now get the Japanese-style egg salad sandwich at participating 7-Eleven, Speedway, and Stripes stores in the U.S. 7-Eleven says its new savory treat is made with soft and fluffy milk, bread, and rich and creamy egg salad. The sandwich was inspired by the Tamago Sando, a popular item sold at 7-Eleven stores across Japan. It's not immediately clear, though, which U.S. locations will have the sandwiches. Google revealed its most trending searches for 2025, topping the list conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated while speaking at Utah Valley University in September. Also on the list, the Netflix smash hit K-pop Demon Hunters and Pop Mart's Labubu dolls. Other trending topics on Google this year included Apple's iPhone 17, New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani, tariffs, the government shutdown, and President Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. The list also included Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica. To get more news, weather, and sports, you don't have to go to Google. Just come to our website, crossroadstoday.com. And coming up next, Santa's Castle is having a clawsome season opener, the holiday display that is slaying the competition.
Tonight, breaking developments. The images of federal agents chasing a woman, an American citizen. The other encounter, a woman pulled from a car, screaming. What's behind this? Plus, the brutal Arctic blast sweeping east. World News Tonight with David Muir is the most watched newscast in America.
Santa's Castle is open for the season, showcasing what organizers call the world's largest Christmas animatronic display. Families come back year after year to this in Iowa, making it a true holiday tradition. Volunteers spend most of the year refurbishing and decorating the scenes, and a new exhibit lets visitors see how the animatronics are repaired behind the scenes. Organizers say their mission is to make sure everyone walks out feeling the Christmas spirit. And that's probably a task in itself, is just making sure that those animatronics work every year.
That's a lot of moving parts, you know.
Yes.
It's bad enough keeping up all the light bulbs on the strings, right?
Yes.
But that is work. But
There's always that one that goes out, and then,
yeah. We have to go all the way to Iowa for that one, right?
Iowa, yes.
Okay, well, we're not going to make it this weekend.
Unless anybody knows of something like that around here, let us know.
But, you know, there's the big parade Saturday night here.
Yes, so, and the Christmas tree lighting downtown.
So lots of activities all over in Victoria. Just go downtown in the evening, and I think the weather is going to be much more milder. We should get up to about 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, probably need a jacket or a blanket for the parade, though.
It's just a light one.
Okay.
Nothing heavy.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 6.